Howdy YouTube, Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today, another exciting and fun-filled video for you. I'm working on my truck today, my 95 Ford Ranger pick-em-up truck. This truck does not get a lot of use. I have owned this truck since, well, I didn't own this truck new. The company I worked for owned the truck new. And when I left this company after working for them for 11 years, they gave me the truck because, in essence, it was my truck. It was very nice of them, wasn't it? Yeah, they were a good employer. Anyway, I digress. So, I was given the truck when I left that job, and I went to get another job and got a brand new Honda Accord. And I used the truck as a trade-in on the Accord. Well, my brother liked the truck so much, he went back to the Honda dealer and bought the truck from them. And then he ended up giving it to my nephew, and then my nephew ended up selling it back to me, so now it's back home. I've had it for, I think since 2007, I think I've had this truck back to me again. So, and it's got, probably a couple 100,000 miles on it. It's had a new transmission put in it. But I'm slowly repairing the thing because I use it more and more. Now that I have Mom here, I need it for her, and I need it for emergencies if I have a client that has something happen. And you need to have 2 cars in a family. So, just the other day, I had a friend of mine who sold me all the materials for my house. One of his son-in-law's brother works for an auto glass company, or owns an auto glass company, and they came out and put a new windshield in it because mine was full of cracks. I'm getting ready to have it inspected and new license tags put on it, so I wanted a new windshield. So I got that done. That was only about $125, and he did a really good job. He was in and out of here in 15-20 minutes. And so as I'm going through the truck, checking stuff I need to repair, I got some door handles that are broken. I've got the rear tailgate latches broken, that kind of thing. Normal stuff on a 20-plus-year-old vehicle. So, and then the other day I couldn't turn the radio off. So, this is the varmint right here. This is the original Ford radio that was in that truck, and you can see I kind of boogered it up when I took it out of there because I put these keys in wrong to pull it out. You'll see that on the video. I ended up pulling the dash out, but this is the radio that was in there, and it was a good radio. I mean, it was still working. It just, you see that button? It won't stay in to power it off anymore. It's sticky. So it was time for a new stereo. And I wanted something. I don't need a CD player because I don't use CDs. I've ripped all my CDs to my home audio system, my jukebox I call it. And I just need an AM/FM radio. I don't need satellite radio. But what I wanted was a port on their USB port so I could take my music on a USB key. So I'm going to show you now what I got. Now, the other thing I didn't want to do is I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a radio for my truck that I very seldom drive. But I like having music in there. It breaks the monotony. And most of my drives are long drives, 40 or 50 miles each way. So I want to have a little entertainment as I go, but I don't want to pay a lot of money. So I shopped around. I was looking on Amazon, and I saw the Pioneer series, and I liked them. And they had a good price on them. But I didn't want to wait to get the radio in for, a few days or whatever. So we were wandering around Walmart a couple of weeks ago and went into their audio section, and I ran across this, the DEH S101UB from Pioneer, and it's got a little USB on the front, and it has AM/FM, and it has auxiliary in, it has a high current USB charging port, quick charge, mixed track, so that you can take a CD and a regular music CD, and you can fill it with MP3 wave, or what's the other one, MP3 waves, or WMA files. Put them on a CD and it'll play them, or you can play them through the USB. It has a 50 watt by 4 amplifier in it, 4-channel amplifier, and it has a preamp out on it as well. I paid all of $60 for this thing, and it was perfect for what I need. Smartphone compatible, whatever that means, or Android smartphone compatible. I don't use my smartphone on my radio, so this is what I ended up getting, and it's a single DIN radio, and I had to replace my double DIN radio with this, so I needed an install kit. And a little side note on this, the radio is also remote controlled. In fact, it comes a little, I guess if you have a passenger in the vehicle, it comes with this little remote control. I sure as hell am not going to use this while I'm driving, but, I guess I could Velcro it to the visor or something. That's not why I bought it. That's not at all why I bought it. And then the other thing I didn't know is it has a detachable face on it, so I can push a button on the right side of that faceplate and pull it off, so it's like a theft deterrent. Because they'd have to pull the dash apart now to get the radio out now that it's installed. If they want to break into my truck and steal a $60 radio, more power to them. And an interesting, this is what's so funny about buying shit at Walmart. They kept this radio in a locked cage. It's a $60 frickin' radio, okay? I guess people can smash and grab, whatever. So they keep it in a locked case. So I had to find someone to unlock the case, right? So I found this lady doing stock or inventory or whatever, and I asked her, could she get me a radio? She said, sure. So she goes over there, she opens the case with her keys, slides the glass door open, and then goes to get the radio, and she won't hand it to him. She's like, are you checking out now? Or are you going to go browse through the store? I said, no, we got some more shopping to do. She says, okay, I have to put a security belt on it, so if it leaves the store, it'll explode and cover you with ink and all that, So she goes off. It takes her 10, 15 minutes to put this damn lock on it. Now, meanwhile, my spouse looks over and says, she left her keys in the cage. And I imagine those keys go to the whole store because she was a manager. So she leaves, she takes a $60 radio that they probably make, 10, maybe 15 bucks off this radio, maybe. Takes it away for 10 minutes, leaves her keys there in the lock cage. And thank God we're honest people, because we could have gone around anywhere, or we could have stolen radios and speakers and, or put them in our cart and just walked off. She never would have been the wiser, But we were honest people, didn't do that. But I just wanted to share that with you. That was our Walmart experience. Anyway, she came out back 10 minutes later. My spouse goes, you left your keys in the little cage, right? She's like, oh my God, I've been looking all over for them. So, word to the wise, pay attention. The poor woman, she looked like she was half asleep. But, you walk into Walmart these days and it's full of zombies. So, I don't know what they're paying these people or what their incentives are, but I feel bad for them. But anyway, I digress. Now, initially I bought, let me show you the install kit I bought. Bear with me. So initially I bought the Scosche FD3090. Alright, can you see that? Now you see on the front, look down there if it'll focus. Hold on. You hold it still. You see it says under Ranger 1995 to 2011 Ranger, and there's two little asterisks on there, and it tells you on page 6. So I got this and it didn't work. It was too big. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't fit the radio. It wouldn't fit the dash, as you will come to see. Well, I'm not going to show you that. And the other thing is, you go on Scosche's website, they don't even list this part number on their website as being compatible. They list a completely different part number. So I sent the spouse to Walmart. It was at Walmart one day, and I said, look for this model of Scosche. They don't carry it. Anyway, long story short, this didn't fit. I ended up getting a different kit. I got this kit, the Metra 99-5027, and this thing worked like a dream. I keep it right there, and you can see it'll fit my 95 through 2011. Clear, concise instructions, easy to install. It was like $9 on Amazon. I wasn't going to go back to Walmart and get it. Now, I did go to O'Reilly, because the initial, let me show you the initial wiring harness they sent me. So this is the Scosche wiring harness, and it is a mess. I mean, I understand it's a universal, but the gray side is for power, the black side is for speakers, and then this is for if you have a different kind of radio. So I didn't want to deal with this. I wanted the gray and the black separate. So I went to O'Reilly and I got one of their install kits, and you'll see it in the video, the harness kit, so that I didn't have to cut my wiring harness in the vehicle in case I ever wanted to put a regular radio back in. But that's what I got, and So now let me let you see the install, what it took to get that installed, and then we'll come back after that. All right, let's take a little trip outside. What up, Z? I know you want to go, baby, but you can't. Alrighty, so we're coming out my truck. I parked it under the shade tree. This is my old 95 Ford Ranger. And got it running again. Had a little trouble with a flat tire. I had a new windshield put in just the other day. It was $125 installed for this windshield. As you can see, I still need to get my license tags renewed and my inspection. And then I've got some old sheetrock back here that I need to throw out. The plan is to get a bed liner for this thing. I've got to fix that latch right there in the back. That's a common problem. Another common problem with these Fords is door handles. As you can see, that one's getting a little loose. Let's go around and look at the other side. Starting to get some spring weather here, so starting to go outside and do some stuff. You can see this one's even worse. So it's just a matter of time before that falls out. Now the other problem these Fords have is with these door switches. Because the door switches are not in the door jamb like, a regular vehicle would be. The door switches that tell the vehicle that the door is latched are inside this. Which means that whole door panel has to be taken off in order to get to that switch. However, I did find I went to Ford's website, and they have a forum on there, and I found out what you need to do is shoot WD-40 in there, let it sit for a day or two, and then come back with lithium grease, spray grease. Spray that in there. I've done that. My problem with the door chime is now gone. So this is the interior. This thing's got a couple 100,000 miles on it. The interior is in rough shape. As you can see, the seats are kind of torn. The carpet is badly stained. The headliner is missing for all intents and purposes. All that's left is the foam. It runs great, though. The dome light, my nephew ripped that out of there because he couldn't figure out how to get it to shut off, so he just ripped it out of there because it was running the battery down. Let's see, the center console is loose, as you can hear it. And now the problem is the radio won't shut off. So I'm going to start tearing into this. Oh, that, and I've got some blower motor noise on my fan. So I've got probably something down into that blower motor I'm going to have to look at as well. So what I want to do today is take the radio out. And once I get the radio out, I'm going to take out that little panel right there, that dash panel. Because I want to check some things behind the radio. So first things first. Let's see if we can't get the radio out. Now I got to do all this handheld, so I may actually cut the video here. I'm going to put the camera down for a minute. Okay, on these radios, there's two little holes on either side, here and here. They make a tool to go in there, and then the radio just pops out. So now normally I tell people to do this with the battery disconnected. But there is no power going to this radio without the key on. So we should be okay. Now, the other thing you can do to get the radio out is you can pull these two screws out here and here. And then the panel will pop out, and then you can take the radio out of the panel. But I'm going to do it the other way. And I have this little tool I got from Walmart to take these radios out. It'll work on Audi, Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, Mazda, Mercedes, Mercury, Porsche, Saab, Sterling, and Volkswagen, supposedly. So we're going to pop this open, and we're going to see if we can't get the radio out of here. And so I've got the tools in there properly, but as you can see, it doesn't want to come out for whatever reason. So we're going to have to remove these two 7mm bolts down here, I'm thinking, and pop this out. And then that should allow the radio to come out, I'm hoping. I mean, you can see it's pretty loose in there. But for some reason, it's just getting caught on that side, and it won't pull out. So God only knows who's been into this dash before me. So I'm going to go ahead and take these two screws out and see if the whole unit will come out. And we'll come back after that. Alright, so we're back. We got the radio out. And as you can see, I kind of boogered it up here. That's right, it's not going back in. And I managed to get these stuck in there. I put them in the wrong way is what happened. They should have been flipped. So, but that's alright, I'll get the tool out. Point is, I got the radio out of the dash, and I did it without breaking the panel, which is right here. So there are two connectors here for power and function. Then there's the antenna right here. And this is for the cigarette lighter or power adapter. Now this is the engine control module over here, I believe, right there. And this is what they call the GEM module. And that handles all the door alarms and the lights and everything else. So if you've ever heard of anybody on a Ford Ranger or Explorer talking about a GEM module, that's what that is. So here we go. So I'm going to take this inside and I'm going to futz around with the new radio and see if I can't get it to mounted there. I did buy a mounting kit, but it did say it might require some cutting. So we're going to go into phase 2 of this. So come along with me. I'll show you what I can. All right. So in order to get this radio set up for my Ford, I had to make a trip to the local auto parts store, and the first thing I needed to get was a car stereo wiring harness. I don't want to cut my original wiring harness in my truck. I want to leave it intact. And so what's in this package is a CK-WHF-D2 made for Ford. It's by Raptor Installation. I got these at O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is the gray connector, and this will be the power connector. This is where your power comes in. So you've got standby power is yellow. That's it when the that's the power lead that is always on. That's for the memory for the radio. The red one is wired to the ignition switch. So when the ignition switch is turned on, it gives power to the radio. The orange light is for the dimmer. For your dimmer on your headlights. And my Pioneer radio that I'm putting in does not have that orange lead. Now these color codes are standard, so just FYI. The black wire, of course, is ground, and the blue wire is for what they call a remote accessory. Power to a remote accessory. This black connector here is the one they use for the speakers. So the primary wires you're going to be using for speaker wires, if you only have a front, left, and right, are the gray and the white wires. Now I'm going to hook all these wires up into this harness because the wires have already been run in my Ford for the speakers in the rear of the truck, even though I don't use them. But I'm going to go ahead and make all the connections. Now, a lot of people don't mind using what are called butt connections with crimp-on connectors. Myself, I prefer to solder the connections and then use some heat shrink tubing to make the connection nice and tight and secure. So what we'll need to do is first we'll need to take these heat shrink out and then put it slide it onto the wires before we solder them. That way we can solder it back. And I'm not going to cut any length off of any of these wires with the exception of this black wire for the Pioneer radio. And of course I have electrical tape, I have some needle nose pliers, I have a wire stripper, and I need to get a pair of scissors so I can cut. I don't need no stinking manual. So I'm letting my iron heat up over here. I've got my cleaning apparatus set up. I don't know whether this is lead solder or not. 60-40 lead. It doesn't appear to be, and it's not marked. So I'm going to use some different solder because I just prefer lead-based solder. It works easier. And this is the iron I got. So one way you can test if your iron's hot enough is if the solder, of course, melts to it. And then this little device here is just to clean the tips off. You just kind of shove it in there. It's just steel wool, and that kind of cleans your tip off. Gets it nice and clean for you. So I think the soldering iron is hot enough. I've set it at 350, and it should maintain that temperature. So let's go get some scissors, and then we'll get to work on assembling this. What do you say? Right, so I'm back with my scissors now. So the first thing we want to do is we want to consider where we want to slide. We need to get our heat shrink tubing out, and we're going to determine where we want to place that. I think what I'm going to do is slide it up on the Pioneer side of the connector. And I just got an assorted collection. I think more than likely I'm going to be using the red for most of the work here. Let's see. Yeah, the red is probably the one I'll be using to do these. I just hope it's going to go over. I have blue as well, which is a little bit larger. And actually I may end up using blue. It just depends. So first things first, let's do the ground connection because it is the longest wire in the connection. What I'm going to do is just cut the ground wire to an equal length with that white wire, and we'll set that to the side. So ground, the black is our ground, and we have a ground connection on this gray connector right here. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to cut a little piece of that blue heat shrink. We're going to slide it on here. I'll go ahead and pull this insulation off this wire, twist it. Then I'm going to go ahead and strip some wire off of this black lead with these little strippers. Man, those worked really well, didn't they? There it went. Okay, so what I like to do is twist them together, like so. Then lay them down against one another. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that connection nice and hot with my iron. Hopefully you can see this. Now you're probably asking, why am I using a soldered connection? Why am I soldering the wires? And the reason I am soldering the wires is because I want a good, strong connection. And as you can see, that is a good, strong connection. That ain't going nowhere. Just like that. And then all we have to do at this point is we put our wires, let me pinch this down a little bit. Slide this over the connection like so. And then all we have to do is apply some heat to this shrink tubing and it should cover itself. So let me go get a lighter. Be right back. Now normally what you would use is a heat gun, but I don't have a heat gun, so that's not going to be an option for me, but I'll just use my lighter and it should work just as well. Just want to move it around that connection until it shrinks. And there you go. One wire down, 100 more to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these wires, and we'll come back when the harness is done. Here we go. So there's the completed harness. We have all of our speaker connections going over to this plug, and that'll plug into the header in the Ford. And then all the electrical connections, we're only using the red, yellow, and the black. We're not using the blue, and we're not using the orange. They're not in use in my installation. And so what I've done is I've just tucked the blue cable back up inside the blue connector and the orange cable inside the orange connector, just so they're out of the way. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap all this with electrical tape just to complete the harness so it keeps in one piece and stays nice and neat and doesn't get tangled on anything. And then the next thing will be to install the kit, which is, I'm not looking forward to the kit that I have a double DIN radio, and I'm replacing it with a single DIN radio. That means it takes up one slot as opposed to two. So I have to assemble this thing to mount into my face plate, which is right. Sorry, pardon the dog. He's sleeping right now. He's not feeling real well. So here's the portion that goes in my dash, and as you can see, it's got a really big connection, and the Pioneer radio is not that big. So what I want to try and do first is clean this up a little bit, purdy her up, and then I'm going to put the installation kit in, and we'll see how that goes. So I finally ended up ordering this Metra 99-5027 kit off of Amazon. I ordered it last week, and it came in yesterday. Today's Wednesday. And I managed to figure out how this thing needs to mount. However, the problem I ran into was the mounting kit they sent me was hitting up here on the top. So, as you can see on the bottom, there's this little lip down here. There was one on the top. I just took my handy dandy Dremel tool and I cut the crap out of that thing. And got that excess plastic off of there. And here's the piece I ended up cutting off. So there was some trim work involved. It was just a matter of lining it up and seeing where it was rubbing. And it kept hitting on the top of this part of the dash part. So now, here's the Metra kit. Right here, it's got a little sleeve in it. As you can see, mine came a little warped. So Lord knows what heat it was expanded to. And here's the DIN chassis that is in there now. So what I'm going to do is put that in, mount it in there securely. And then I'm going to go mount this piece into the truck. And then I'm going to put the radio in after. And I'll have all the wires coming through and everything. So let's get on to that and see how that goes. Alright, so after some finagling, some praying, some cussing, we got the dash back in, although it's loose up top. I wonder why that is. Okay, well, we'll figure that out. I don't know why it's loose up top. Shouldn't be. Should have gone into these little chingamaderos and should be fine, but maybe it was loose before. You know, I honestly don't know if it was loose before or not, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Alright, I got the radio sitting here on the seat. I got the antenna and I've got the plug available for the power. So what I'm going to do now is plug it in and see if we can power it on. But I did get the dash piece installed back into the truck, but I don't feel like taking it all apart again to see why that tab at the top is not coming off. If necessary, I'll make a redneck and do some redneck engineering on it and make sure it doesn't pop off. So wish me luck. All right, so there it is. It's in there. Doesn't appear to be coming out. So now the moment of truth. Let me turn the accessory key on. All right, you can hear the dinging. I got a light. I guess that's good. Ah, there we go. Not bad, huh? Let me close this dang door. Z, get in that front yard. The dog has escaped to the sound of classical music. Go see Mama. Go on. And it even has a little display on it. Success. Success. Now to drive the truck down the road and make sure it doesn't fall out. So there you go. It's installed and ready to go. I took a little drive around the around the country, listen to some music. And I haven't tried the USB yet. I'm sure it's going to work. I will try it here in a day or two as soon as I make my little audio USB key. But it worked like a charm. There's no rattle. It's not loose or anything. You know, I was worried about that top part of that bezel coming out. But I think what I'm going to do is just put I'll get some double-sided sticky tape and put it on the back of that, just keep it from popping out. I think what's happened is the little pins that go in have lined up, but the little latches have broken off of the thing. It's just so damn old, you know. Being out in the heat in South Texas will do that to you. I think it just fatigued those pins, and one of them broke off, so it's not latching. But I'll just use some double-sided tape. It's not rattling or anything when I go down the road, so it's not a big deal. Now, all told, this video and doing this truck has taken me 2 weeks because I've done it as I've had spare time. And of course, I didn't have the right install kit. Then I had to go out to the shed and dig out the Dremel to cut the plastic, and it was, it's just a pain in the butt. This is why I don't work on cars anymore. But I wasn't going to pay somebody to put it in my truck. I knew I could do it myself, so your mileage might vary. And that's, it's just a day in the life of me and what I have to do. So we'll be having some more truck videos come up as I do more stuff on it. I have the turn signal and the headlight switch need to be replaced because the wipers keep coming on by themselves. I did fix the door switch, the little bell, the ding, ding, ding. That thing you drive down the road and it would never shut up. And I tell you in the video what I did to cure that. So the truck is ready to go get its inspection. And then once we get our inspection, then we can go to the tax office because they do our inspections electronically now. You don't have a sticker anymore, not in Texas. You go to your inspector, you have it inspected, then you go to the tax office and they have a record of it electronically. Just like our insurance now. You don't need to have the little certificate. They look it up on the computer and they know whether you're insured or not. They share that with the insurance companies. So I'll go do that, then I'll go get my license tag so it's road legal. And then I have a very slow leak in a front tire I got to get repaired. So, and then that thing will be road ready. So thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up down below if you did. Leave your comments in the comments section. You guys like working on cars? I really don't care to work on them, but I kind of want to restore this truck. I want to put a new headliner in it. I want to put seat covers on it. I want to clean the carpet up. I don't want to wash it, wax it. I'm thinking about having it painted. So if you guys are into cars and you like that kind of stuff, share your thoughts with me down below in the comments section. I'd be happy to hear about them. Donate if you're so inclined. We take PayPal, and Patreon. And those of you that have contributed this month in March, you'll get a shout out at the end of the month in a video. I don't know whether I'm going to do a live stream yet, because don't forget, we're going to be giving away that Edge Router Lite this month. It's going to happen at the end of the month. I don't know yet whether I'm going to do a live stream to do that giveaway, to tell you what the rules are for the giveaway. Stay tuned. Check my Facebook page. And I don't use Twitter. Sorry, I quit Twitter about 3-4 months ago when they started pulling shit on people. I wish I could quit Facebook, but I need them right now. But anyway, check on Facebook. I'll be putting an announcement out on there when I'm getting ready to do the live stream. It'll probably be a weekend live stream, that kind of thing. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget, we'll see you on the other side.